Hi, thanks for stopping by Mazak's Discover event. What can I do for you? So MTConnect is an open standard now for industry, and it's quickly becoming the standard for powering IoT. So whether it's something simple you want to do with a dashboard, or if it's something you want to do more elaborate, as in collecting data, doing utilization reports or OEE, you can use that same foundation to build these different types of solutions. And then if at some point you want to go to the cloud and you want to do preemptive diagnostics and analytics, it'll support that level as well. So MTConnect is actually pretty simple. And if you think of it as a dictionary, it's just a dictionary worth of of terminology for industry. And if everybody were to use something like Notepad to write letters back and forth, you'd never have a problem with conversion and documents that you can't open. And I like to think of that same thing with MTConnect, is that it's like using Notepad for everything, and it's least common denominator. Any app that you have in your office today can probably communicate with MTConnect because it is based on open standards like HTTP, XML, JSON, and it's the types of technology that if you're a developer or an IT person, you already know how to work with this stuff. So it's a matter of, what do I want to do to collect it, and what do I want to do with the data? They probably already know what to or how to get this into a data store. So it's pretty common knowledge to the IT folks. Depending on the size company you are, and depending on what type of support you have in-house as IT or not, that'll tend to make you go in a couple different directions. One way I always like to talk about is just write a check. I don't have the manpower or the knowledge in-house to implement this on my own. I know I want to implement it. I'm going to write you a check, and you're going to be a complete integrator, and you're going to provide me not only the connectivity, but the security built in there to get the data someplace where I can do something with it. Typically, that'll end up being in the cloud because that's the easiest for an integrator to support and deploy. So if you have an IT department already in-house, it's their job to do their due diligence, and they should have a vested interest in the security on the factory floor. That doesn't always happen, and you need to make sure that they're aware of the risks that are happening on the factory floor today. Most of the equipment that's on the factory floor is legacy. It's considered insecure and unsupported by IT, and you can't just treat it like a laptop that you have in the office. And they like to do that because they see the controllers, they have Windows on it, and they like to say, oh, we just need to upgrade them to Windows 10 and the latest security, and that's not going to happen. Most of these systems are outdated, to the point where you don't upgrade them anymore. But yet they're going to be around for another 10, 20 years. So you need to make sure that I can connect these machines, I can still get the data from them, and I need to be able to do that in a secure way. It doesn't mean just isolating the factory from the office. It means isolating the equipment from each other as well as the office. So it's important that they're involved, and they're really the only ones that know how to do that. They need to understand what their role is in all of this, and have a mandate to say, we're going to do this securely and get the data out. And opposite is true for the OT side. Usually the people in the factory have no idea or no concept of how to implement security, but they know what kind of data they want and what they want to do with it. So that's where the conversations need to happen in the boardroom. When you're talking IoT, everybody wants to think of connecting to the cloud, and has to be the cloud, and that's not the case. I like to think that if you start with an open standard, which we use MTConnect, if you build an open foundation, you can build on that. You can start out very simple, and you can grow from there, and you won't have to reinvent and go back and start over. If you want to do let's say a maintenance project later on, you don't have to implement a completely different connection, security, and data solution. What we're showing here on the screen is actually a very simple solution where we're using a dashboard that we use to help customers integrate. And it also gives them a starter kit where they can just have visualization and show machine data on the factory floor and some dashboards. Based on MTConnect as well is something new that we're showing. This is a prototype of MTConnect, we'll say, moving towards digital twin and the digital thread. And this prototype was done in conjunction between Mazak and the MTConnect Institute and Metalogy. And what we're doing here is trying to test MTConnect out, the next version of MTConnect, and say, do we have all the data tags that's required to support a complete digital twin. So we already know it can do basic monitoring. We know we can do maintenance type solutions. But when we start moving towards a digital thread, do I have serialization and traceability? Can I record this data and then go back and replay it if I have a product that fails in the field? As long as I have that serial number, can I go back and say, I want to replay that part being manufactured? These are the type of more advanced things that are happening today, but it's going to be available very soon in the future. Some of the other solutions that we create that are maybe unrelated to MTConnect would be solutions on the controllers that help customers if they have a special case where they say, we have this part that we want to make, a family of parts, and we want to be able to enter blueprint dimensions directly into the controller, and it's specific for our part, and it simplifies the process for our operators. We are now making custom displays that run on our Smooth AI controllers on our second monitor option, where the operator can interact with that, hit create program, and he gets a completely compiled program for that specific part. If he needs to make a simple change, he can type that in, generate the program immediately, and the machine's off and running. So it's tightly integrated solutions for the customers.